Okay, I think I'll be about as ready as I'll ever be. Was this the first take? Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can do this for at least a few minutes. It's been a really long time since I did any videos. I know it's been like maybe like a year and a half, close to 2 years, something like that. I guess a lot can happen in that span of time. So I guess a lot has happened, but then again, not much has changed. I know this past Christmas and everything, and New Year's was fine. I got these, I know I got a few things for Christmas. I got these blackout curtains, the new curtains and stuff for my room, and it completely blocks out the light, which is good for me because I still work midnight shifts at my, doing security at my other job. Well, at my same job that I've been working at the past, 5 or 6 years now. And before I had curtains that were more translucent and harder to fall asleep with the light filtering through, especially the sunlight like coming through from outside. But yeah, I mean, Christmas was good. New Year's was good. I spent it at my brother's place. He lives about 2 hours away in Grand Rapids, and he had a kid like last year, a daughter. She's 1 now, and him, his girlfriend, and daughter live out there now. So it's cool to have a niece now. There hasn't been anyone born in our family since my brother and sister were born 21 years ago. So, yeah, there's that. And, I guess I should talk about my anxiety and stuff, where that's been going. Progress is, right now it's going okay, but lately, well, I say lately it's going okay, but the past couple years, it, it hasn't really gotten anywhere significant. I'm still here, like in my room. I'm still living at home, working at the same place. If anything, it's probably gotten worse in that time. But like I said, it's starting to get better, and I'll talk more about that later. But, I remember I did a video a long time ago, the one where I talked about how I told my mom about my anxiety, and she didn't respond too well to that. I didn't talk about this in the video. I should have talked about it in my last one, because this happened back in 2011 when I started doing therapy. Like, maybe I don't know how much longer after I started doing therapy, but maybe like a month or so after. I was in the car. I was taking my mom to school. And I just told her, that I had been going to therapy, and for my anxiety problems. And that was really hard and nerve-wracking, but I managed to do it. And she actually took it pretty well. She took it seriously this time. She was proud of me for actually seeking help for, my problem. And she revealed that, me and her are very similar. She revealed that, she's a pretty quiet and shy person as well. I guess she just hides it better. She's easier. She's more outgoing, so it's easier for her to kind of hide that part of herself and blend in than I am, like way easier. And she even said that she went to therapy when she was younger, like as a teenager, dealing with depression and stuff. So that was surprising, enlightening, and a more positive outcome, way more positive than, that first time. I think parents, they're going to be in denial very quickly when it comes to mental health of their children. And that's understandable. Because if you're a parent and you have a child and they're having problems, then the first thing you're going to do is probably blame yourself, right? So yeah, that went well. Now, as far as my therapy and all that, I had to stop going. When did I stop going? I stopped going last year. Actually, I stopped going in 2012, right before Christmas. And basically, I had gone from late 2011. I started in late 2011, and I went to therapy all through 2012. So I say a little over a year, and it did help. Even though it didn't, I wouldn't say it was like significant amount of progress or help, but it did help. In the long run, there are some things that still kind of stuck with me today. And I still think about some of the things my therapist would tell me, even though I haven't seen her in a year. And, I wish I could go back, but I really can't afford it anymore. That was the main reason why I stopped going. Because I just could not afford it, even though the prices were pretty low. She has like some of the lowest prices, I would think, the lowest rates in Michigan, because her regular rate is, when I started going, it was $50 for the regular 1 hour session, but she did a sliding scale thing, so if you couldn't afford that and you didn't make a whole lot at your job, you just bring in your pay stubs and she'll lower it by half, so I only had to pay $25. But then her prices went up by $5, and so it was $30 for me and $55 for, the regular rate. And I could handle that for, every week for a while, but then it became really taxing, and so I started going like once every 2 weeks, and then it was once every month, and then just pretty much not at all, not after, like I said, right before Christmas, that's when I stopped going. The support groups, I kept going to those. Yeah, I stopped going to those too, because that whole dynamic kind of changed. It did help. It was nice to be around people who were going through the same things. And surprising, because you think people are going to look really nervous or look really depressed or whatever. But no, everyone looked so normal, just like every other person, You can walk by, that's why you never know who you walk by on the street. You never know what they're going through. They could be going through the same thing that you're going through, But I went to those for, the better part of 2012. And what was cool too was that they had these meditation sessions at the end of some of them, because my therapist would actually she would actually lead up, one group. The groups met every 2 weeks, and it was in the back room of this cafe, and she would lead up one group a week, and then her assistant, it was like this younger girl, like straight out of college. She was an intern. She was trying to get, just experience, because she was going for her master's. and she would do it the following week, and they would just switch off every week. And the younger girl would do the meditation sessions, and it was really relaxing, and it was really cool. I'd actually would like to join a meditation group sometime in the future, get out of here, because I haven't been doing that. Not really at all. But I know one of the reasons I stopped going to that was, even though it was free at the time, I don't know, there just came to be a point where it wasn't really doing a whole lot for me. The same thing with the therapy. With the therapy, it felt more like I was having a conversation and paying for it. And I noticed that the therapy would work for me mostly when I asked the right kind of questions. If I didn't ask the right kind of questions, then yeah, it would just be like a conversation. But I know we did things like role play, where she would pretend to be a cashier, and I would be a customer walking into a store and trying to make small talk with the cashier, and vice versa, and things like that helped me out in the therapy. But this, with the therapy groups, we would go around and just have a dialogue about how we're dealing with life, stress and anxiety and stuff, and like I said, it was good, but after a while it just it wasn't really doing a whole lot for me, and I would go every now and then, but then the times changed, because it used to be on Tuesdays. Which is my day off. Like Tuesday afternoons, and then they changed the times to like Friday mornings, and I could make that if I really wanted to, but I'm just getting off work, and I don't really want to go anywhere when I'm off work. I don't really feel motivated to go anywhere else but home when I get off. And now it's like on Saturdays, and I really can't make that because I do like 2 shifts on Saturday. And there's a price now, because it used to be free, now it's $5. Therapy sessions, I really can't do those anymore. If I ever start doing that again, like when I get a new job, a better paying job, I have to look into finding someone cheaper, because her rates are like double what they were before. It's like $100-something. So with the sliding scale, I imagine it would be, for me, like 50. It wouldn't be 20, it wouldn't be 30 anymore. So that's that. Can't believe I've been talking for 13 minutes already. Okay, so as far as like my anxiety lately, like recently, I started, I know a lot of you have heard of Dr. Richards. I started reading like some of his stuff, and I'm actually starting his program. He's like if you don't know who he is, he's like a pretty well-known doctor in the social anxiety community. He started like the Social Anxiety Institute in Arizona, I think it is. And there they have like a whole facility dedicated to social anxiety. And I remember watching a video. I used to be subscribed to somebody who used to go to the sessions, because they would have like group sessions, and they would have outings where they would go out into the world and work on their anxiety. And I think that'd be cool. I mean, too bad I don't live in Arizona, but it would be cool to kind of do something like that with other people in my area and state. Go out on outings and hang out, or do whatever. I I started doing his program, and the first exercises, there's 20 sessions. I listen to the audio tapes and I read the material. And the first session talks about doing slow talk. Just slowing down your speech and speaking in a more calmer manner. In 30 minutes every day for a week, you're supposed to read. You can read anything, but it suggested that it be positive. And I didn't think that would really do anything, but it actually does help. Like, it makes me... I just did it, actually, an hour ago. And it actually does make me feel a bit more fluent when I speak. I think what it does is when you speak out loud, because we're in our heads so much, when you speak out loud, it works on the language center of the brain, which is usually in the left side. And I guess it's, there's a whole lot of neuronal firing going on there, where it probably usually isn't as active. Well, since we're in our heads. It's hard to speak if you haven't really said anything all day and you've just been thinking. Then it's like when you go out to a supermarket or a store, wherever you have to go, then it's going to make it that much harder to actually break out of your head. But if you're already talking, even if it's just reading 30 minutes a day, then that's definitely helpful. So I'm on I started it Saturday. Well, I started it last week, but I didn't start the exercises until Saturday. So I'll keep doing this until next Saturday, and then go on to the next lesson. I know I'm going to be nervous because it talks about how you're going to have to go out and talk to people using slow talk, and I got to stop those negative thoughts, but yeah, I'm already kind of worked up about that a little bit. But it does calm you down. So, I would suggest that if you haven't tried that and you have anxiety, then definitely try reading to yourself 30 minutes a day. Just, see what happens. And it'll feel silly at first. And then there's that whole thing about, I live with other people, so I'm thinking, what if other people can hear me and all that stuff? But those thoughts kind of come and go, and then they kind of fade into the background after a while. But, this video is getting way too long. I did not intend for it to be this long. But, yeah, I guess I had a lot to catch up on. And that's pretty much it. Well, that's probably not it. I'll probably have a lot more to say, but that's all for now. I'm gonna try to, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna, because every time I make a promise to do more videos, then I end up feeling more pressure, and I end up not doing it at all. So, yeah, I have a smartphone now. I got it last year, my first one, so I really don't have an excuse to not. It's really convenient, because I just turn on my phone and, well, it's already on, but go to the camera app and just record anywhere. And I always have my phone with me, so with my camera before, I would always get I gotta charge up the batteries, and then by the time I charge up the batteries, I've lost motivation to actually do a video. I'm out of energy or just feel too lazy. But now it's a lot more convenient, so I'm gonna try to just, even if it's gonna be for maybe 3 minutes. I know not every video has to be 20 minutes long like this one. It can be 2-3 minutes, and I know there are people who do like to watch. Some people seem to have even gotten mad that I hadn't made one in a while. And that's understandable, because I know there are people that I'm subscribed to that I like watching their videos. And if they don't make one for a while, it's like, well, where are the videos at? But that's basically it for now. And sorry for being out of the loop for so long. Try to, not go 2 years or a year and a half, however long it's been, without doing another video. And that's about it. And I will see you later. See ya.